Chapter 11. A Cursed Ending? The three students reappeared in the Hufflepuff common room.
Does anyone seem really confused at what just happened? Like it seemed like there were two Harrys and strange spells. Anyway, we're back. Do we have everything? Let's see, there was the stone, the fang, the poster, the piece of paper.
Don, relax, you're overthinking, Thomas said, putting his hand on Don's shoulder. Don looked at him puzzled. Elizabeth did the same. You might say that Harry pulled a bit of a practical joke on us. Harry led us on a bit of a wild goose chase through time. He really wasn't in danger.
And you know that how?
Elizabeth questioned. He told me. When he came to Professor McGonagall's classroom, he whispered to me that everything is set, and that I was to act dumb. Sort of. He really wasn't disappearing from existence. It was all to see if we could figure out ways to get out of situations without disrupting something. That's why, for example, Sirius Black reappeared in his cell when we left the courtyard. Also twice Harry stepped into his own role and slipped me the charmed medallion of the Deathly Hallows symbol, which blew Snape away. Also, his scar was supposed to be gone by now.
What?
Elizabeth and Don asked in a high voice. Oh, perhaps I shouldn't have told you that. Elizabeth then stepped right up to Thomas and got right in his face.
Okay, Sculptor, who are you really? Do you have some relation to Harry Potter? I briefly heard at Dumbledore's death that you were using a covenant name of Albert Potter, even though there is actually an Albus Potter. So really, are you Albus Potter?
Oh, Elizabeth, my dear, if I were to reveal anything and everything, it would make me a cursed child.
Now what do we do with these? Don commented while pointing at the items they had collected.
I think I might know,
Elizabeth said as her eyes lit up. She picked up the items and told Thomas and Don to come with her. She led them out of the Hufflepuff common room, around the ever-changing stairways, and up to the entrance of the Gryffindor common room. She opened the door, and all three entered. She then pointed at one of the walls in the room. Up against a wall was a shelf with a glass door. There was a sign above it. It read, "The Collectibles of Harry Potter. Pieces and items from the time the boy who lived came to Hogwarts."
Well, how about that?
Don said. Elizabeth asked Thomas to turn around as she looked around for the keys to open the door. She then took all the items they collected and put them in the display case. Don leaned over to Elizabeth in a bit of confusion.
The case doesn't need a key. You can just say Alohomora, right?
But he doesn't have to know that.
They left the display case and sat around the fire in the common room. Don bent over on the couch and put his hand on his chin.
So, Thomas, are we now Harry's heroes or something? If something's not right in the world and is somehow connected to him, he calls us.
Who knows? I mean, it may happen, now that we are familiar with Harry's wondrous world.
I would like to call it the wizarding world of Harry Potter,
Don corrected him. Thomas and Elizabeth smiled.
Maybe something will happen to Hermione and Ron, and we'll have to save them.
They all laughed.
Well, I remember Harry telling me something that Hermione used to tell him, and I think I should say this before Hufflepuff wonders where I am. So I will say that I'm going to bed, before one of you finds another way to get us killed. Or worse, expelled.
I feel that we should say the same to you, Mr. Sculptor,
Don answered. They all hugged each other. Thomas then left the common room. Elizabeth and Don then returned to collapsing on the couch.
Don, you don't really think that we are Harry's emergency force, do you? Will something happen to one of his friends, Hermione, and or Ron?
Some kind of hex will have to disrupt their marriage or something.
Don then looked outside the window. Snow began to fall.
Looks like we made it back, just in time. Merry Christmas, Elizabeth.
Merry Christmas, Don.
The both of them got up and looked outside the window closer and could see a small Thomas waving in one of the other tower windows. Even though it was hard to read, he had written with his finger in the windows, "Merry Christmas." They smiled and waved back, not knowing what would happen next, who they would face, or where they would go. All they knew was that they would become part of the ongoing story of Harry Potter.